In today's episode, we're going to talk about why vitamin D is the most important vitamin supplement you need to be taking. Hey guys, how you doing today? Thank you for tuning in. I want to apologize for it being so long since I've gotten a video out. There's been a lot of things happening in my life over the last 4 weeks, and to be honest, getting YouTube videos out has kind of been a little bit lower on my priority list. Been working with my athletes, getting all moved in, getting situated over here in Tampa, my training and stuff, and working on some other projects that are in the works. So I want to thank you guys for sticking with me and tuning back into this new episode. This one's really interesting to me. It's a topic that's very intriguing as a strength athlete, as a bodybuilder, as a power lifter. The more I've gotten to know about vitamins and minerals and how micronutrients play a role in our body, in our performance, this specific vitamin has always been one that's really interested me, and that is vitamin D. And so today we're going to talk about the benefits of vitamin D, not only for just regular everyday individuals, but for the strength athlete. Number one is bone health, right? Calcium absorption is the number one factor that vitamin D plays a role in, right? It helps keep our bones strong, and it helps eliminate chronic pain later on in our life as we get older. It takes away some of those aches and pains, some of those brittleness of our bones, keeps us healthy, keeps us strong, keeps us moving a lot longer later on in life. Number two is brain health. A lot of people don't realize it, but vitamin D it acts like a hormone in our body, right? It helps regulate our mood, our weight, our blood pressure, everything. So having vitamin D in our system is very critical to living just an everyday normal life, being able to function as a human, having the energy, not being a pissy ass to people, and things in general like that. Number three is heart health, and I kind of just touched on it a little bit. Vitamin D helps regulate our blood pressure, right? And whether you're a strength athlete or whether you are just a regular individual, right? Blood pressure is really crucial to keep in check, because having too high a blood pressure can set off an array of physical conditions in your body that are just going to send you in a havoc, right? It's going to cause more problems than not. So we always want to make sure that we keep our blood pressure in check, so that we don't develop cardiovascular risks later on in life, whether you are in the gym or just an everyday person, like I said. Number four is it helps prevent weight gain. And I think this is going to be a really interesting and critical point to point out to a lot of people, especially women out there. Now, a lot of people are on this fad where they don't want to eat dairy, right? They think there's something wrong with it, hormones and all that's just garbage, guys. There's nothing wrong with dairy out there if you can tolerate it, right? Meaning if you do not have a lactose intolerance. Vitamin D deficiencies can cause insulin imbalances on our body, and when our insulin levels are all thrown out of whack, right, it allows our body to store fat more easily, right? It's less accessible to release that fat as energy to burn off. Everything we take in is more susceptible to be storing as adipose tissue. So an appropriate vitamin D dosage would be, for a normal person, about 600 IUs a day. If you're a strength athlete and you're training pretty hard with weights, doing a little bit of cardio in there as well, I would say even upwards of about 1,000 IUs a day for men and women is not going too overboard. There are certain foods out there that you can eat. It's like dairy, milk, cheese, eggs, fortified cereals that do have vitamin D in there. But if you're just taking a vitamin D supplement, I suggest taking at least 600 IUs, even upwards of to 1,000 IUs. So it will not hurt you. Number five, vitamin D also plays a huge role in regulating our hormones, right? A lack of vitamin D can cause our serotonin levels in our brain to just drop way down. And when that happens, that's when we see an increase in depression. And that's a huge issue in our society nowadays, not just from a strength athlete standpoint, but just in general. We're seeing a rise of depression in our society now, and I think a lot of it has to do with people staying indoors more, not getting enough sunlight, natural vitamin D, not eating the right diet with adequate vitamins and minerals in it, a whole array of factors and stuff. So that's a huge role that regular vitamin D consumption can kind of prohibit, right? Is that serotonin drop in our brain that causes that depression. There's actually been studies that show that even as little as 5 to 10 minutes almost every day throughout the week is just enough exposure to sunlight outside to kind of help regulate and give our body the amount of vitamin D that it needs to function properly, right? Now, I know it's hard for a lot of people when they're in the wintertime, they're living in other states where it's dark all the time, it's snowy, it's raining. This is why knowing what vitamins are in each food that you eat is so crucial. That's why you got to educate yourself. That's why you got to watch videos like mine, like a handful of other people out there that are really, really in tune with not just the macronutrients, but the micronutrients, in our foods and how important of a role they play, not just in our strength training, but in our just everyday life. So definitely keep that in mind. Number 7, like I mentioned before, the recommendations as far as what you should be taking in for vitamin D each day, 600 IUs minimum, right? Upwards of 1,000. Strength athletes need to get a little bit more because they're putting in more effort. They're drawing more calcium out of their bones in order to, do those strength movements, do those power movements, participate in their high energy level sports, their team sports, their individual sports. So vitamin D is very, very crucial to have above the average for a strength athlete, man or woman, upwards of 1,000 IUs a day. Number 8, vitamin D, it decreases the risk of kidney disease and osteoporosis. Now, why is this important? Well, not just for a regular person, but for the strength athlete, because osteoporosis is going to weaken our bones, right? It's going to make them more brittle. We're going to be more susceptible to injury, to a lack of power, our immune system being down. And having kidney disease just opens up a whole array of issues. Kidneys are important to help regulate the toxins in our body, right? To get rid of them, to get that waste out of our body. If vitamin D isn't present in abundance to regulate the kidney functioning, then we're going to get backed up with toxins in our body, and things are just going to get all out of whack. Our hormones are going to get thrown off. Our immune system's going to get thrown off. We're going to be more susceptible to injury and illness. Our mood's going to be thrown off. Our sleep's going to be thrown off. Everything, guys. I think you can kind of tell by this point in the video, you're starting to understand why vitamin D is so critical in our everyday lives, and why I'm personally getting so interested in learning so much more about it. As someone who's battled depression for many, many years in the past, OCD, anxiety, I suffered from a near-fatal eating disorder, so the lack of calcium in the bones plays a huge role in my way of thinking and my interest in this. And just overall wanting to be the biggest, strongest, best version of myself, both in the gym and out as possible. So that's why I've really taken a liking to vitamin D and the interest in it. And I hope maybe you got a little something more out of this that maybe you didn't know about vitamin D. You know, people always talk about vitamin B and C and vitamin A, all that stuff. And nobody really understands the importance yet of vitamin D and the role that it can play in just our overall health and our progress in the gym. Some other benefits of vitamin D for the strength athlete, I've kind of touched on a few of them. It actually increases protein synthesis. It helps you build more muscle in a more efficient and quicker manner, right? It produces more ATP. Now, what's ATP? ATP is basically the energy source that you use for short bursts of movement, sprints, weightlifting in general, things like that. The more ATP production you have, the more capacity you have to move weight faster and longer, thus building more muscle. That leads to increase in strength. That's another benefit. Like I said before, exercise capacity is a huge one, guys. Have you ever been in the gym and you just were working, and then all of a sudden you just hit that wall and you had to stop? Well, vitamin D helps you kind of hit that wall later in your workout, right? Later in your workout, so you're able to get more volume in, more total volume, which in turn is going to add more strength and size to your frame. It's going to increase your muscle size, right? So work capacity, no matter if you're weight training or an endurance athlete, is critical for improvement and top performance. It also helps raise testosterone, and for males, that's very important. A lot of males look for performance enhancers, right? To kind of boost their testosterone up and everything, when in reality, if you just look at your diet, start supplementing with vitamin D more, start lifting at heavier weights, you can do it naturally. Now, there will be some of those people out there that just have a chronic, individualized circumstance where they just have low testosterone. That's when you would need to talk to a doctor. But always look at supplementing your vitamins and getting it from your food first, and let it naturally take care of with how you train also. And then one of the last benefits, and I touched on it earlier in the video, is it reduces your blood pressure. Now, what does this do? This helps prevent an array of horrible cascading events in your body that can just leave you sick, injured, risk for death, keep you out of the gym from training, keep you out of work, be in a bad mood overall, and just not a very productive person. So vitamin D is critical, guys. Make sure, like I said, you're getting at least 600 IUs a day. Strength athletes, upwards of 1,000 IUs a day. And I hope you guys had a little something out of this vitamin D talk. I know that I got really interested in it from seeing Stan Efferding's videos about the vertical diet and how important the vitamin D is that he gets into his diet for strength training. My friend Layne Norton has talked about it a lot. I implore you to go out and check out their videos also. Holly Baxter. There's a great array of people out there that are very knowledgeable about not just macronutrients, but micronutrients and the role that they play in your training and in your everyday life. So hopefully you got a little something from this video, from me just kind of giving you some information about it. Thank you guys for taking some time out of your schedule and watching my channel, supporting it, sharing my videos with people, subscribing. That all means a lot, guys. If you guys have any comments, please leave them in the comment section below, and let me know what you think. Let me know if you guys take vitamin D, if there's any questions that you have that I might be able to answer. If not, I've got an array of knowledge around me that I can find the answers to for you. And also let me know what other kind of videos you guys want to talk about. If you want me to keep going with other vitamins and make it a vitamin series, I would love to do that too. So I'm here to help you guys, give you guys some great quality information, and hopefully improve not only your training, but your life in general. So I'm going to end that here. Like always, if you guys are looking for any strength training or nutrition coaching, please contact me, mathisfitness@gmail.com. I'll leave that all up on the screen. I'd love to work with you and help you achieve your goals in the most efficient way possible. So you guys have a great day. Go out, get some training in. Go to the store, get some vitamin D supplementation if you feel like you're a little low on it, and I'll be checking you out next time. Thank you guys for tuning in.